festive wishes with the congregation. Over in Johor, the region of Johor, Tunku Mahkota Ismail performed the Aidilfitri prayers at Sultan Abu Bakar State Mosque with over 2,000 people. The prayers were led by Johor Islamic Religious Department Imam Magadzir Abdan, who also delivered a sermon titled Aidilfitri, a Day of Victory. Separately, approximately 20,000 visitors from all walks of life attended the Aidilfitri Open House hosted by Johor Menteri Besar Dato' On Hafiz Ghazi earlier on Monday. Aidilfitri is a joyous celebration observed with great enthusiasm across Malaysia. While many return to their hometowns for the festivity, there are those, particularly international students, who learn about how Aidilfitri is celebrated in Malaysia. Nightline's Muhammad Nadir Asfar reports.
For many, Aidilfitri is a time best celebrated with family, friends and loved ones. However, for these students, the joy of the festivities must be set aside in the pursuit for their education.
At the International Islamic University Malaysia, UIAM, international students who were unable to travel home for Aidilfitri gathered on the first day of Shawwal to enjoy the festivities with their peers and lecturers. The students shared their admiration for how Aidilfitri is celebrated in Malaysia's multicultural society.
Malaysian cultural difference, very different, mashallah. Malaysia country, very diversity country and multi-religions practice country. Mashallah, alhamdulillah, very happy, alhamdulillah.
Celebrating Eid in Malaysia is joyful. It's like celebrating cultural diversity because people from different cultures come together, unite and prostrate in the mosque. And it is very serene and beautiful and actually very peaceful to pray together among different cultures. And it feels like Ummah has been united.
It's certainly different, like the culture, the people, how you celebrate it. It's bigger in a way.
They also share their excitement about trying local festive delicacies.
Kueh mueh is my favorite. Nasi rindang.
Any specific kueh mueh favorite?
BT4 most of the time. And nasi rindang, nasi campur, nasi goreng. I mean, that kind of food is so good. Sometimes I eat roti canai. Yeah, that's the food that I like.
Like kueh, yes. I hear they're very tasty and very delicious, so I think I might try them for this Eid.
Despite being far from their families and friends, the students find comfort in forging new bonds with those around them, embracing the spirit of Aidilfitri. Muhammad Nadir Asfar for Nightline TV3.
Muhammad Nadir Asfar also went over to an orphanage in Ampang to take a closer look at Aidilfitri celebrated there. And he reports that spending time with family during festive seasons is a cherished memory for many. But without the warmth of a family home, the celebration takes on a different meaning. Now, here is his report.
As we celebrate Hari Raya Aidilfitri surrounded by family, there are those who do not have the same privilege. For these children here, their celebration is limited to spending time with their friends and caretakers at the orphanage.
The Pertubuhan Kebajikan Anak-Anak Yatim dan Asnaf Kasih Ibu in Ampang, Kuala Lumpur is home to a total of 60 children. Every year, the children would gather on the first day of Aidilfitri in brand new clothing to celebrate the festivity. However, the children remain at the orphanage throughout the day with no other place to be.
Sebab biasanya anak-anak raya tak ke mana, memang duduk rumah.
Nearby residents allocated their Aidilfitri time to come over to the home here to bring cheer to the children.
Sebab saya kesianlah kan, diorang ni tak ada ahli family, jadi saya datang sini untuk beraya dengan diorang, kongsi makanan, duit raya.
Memang datang masa hari raya tu atau hari biasa?
Kadang bulan puasa ada buat program juga kat sini, macam buka puasa sama-sama. Kadang invite diorang pergi buka puasa kat luar. So memang saya bagi makanan-makanan lah, sedekah makanan.
For visitors from far, They not only visited the home to exchange Aidilfitri greetings, but it did bring back memories from the past.
Sebab kadang-kadang sebab saya pun anak yatim dulu kecil-kecil, so saya dapat tahulah rasa perasaan anak yatim tu macam mana. Diorang beraya tak ada mak bapak, so saya datang sini untuk meriahkan, bagi kongsi duit raya, kongsi makanan. Yalah, kita ada rezeki lebih, kita bagi.
The joy and warmth shared between visitors and children leave a lasting impact on everyone. Moments like these remind us of the importance of kindness, compassion, and the spirit of giving, especially during festive seasons. Muhammad Nadir Asfar for Nightline TV3.
Issues related to the escalating Israeli attacks on Palestinian land as Muslims observe Ramadan and prepare for Aidilfitri were among the topics of discussion between Datuk Sri Anwar Ibrahim and Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan. The Prime Minister, through a post on his Facebook page, said the matter was raised during a phone call between him and his good friend on Sunday. According to Anwar, the attacks since March 18th have nullified the ceasefire agreement and thwarted the peace efforts that are being planned. The Prime Minister stressed the urgent need to consider other plans to stop this violence. Erdogan reiterated his firm stance to continue to stand in solidarity with our brothers in Palestine. On the occasion, Anwar also conveyed his Aidilfitri greetings to Erdogan and his family. He also expressed appreciation for the development of bilateral relations between the two countries, which are increasingly strengthening, especially following his recent visit to Malaysia. In their conversation, Anwar also received an invitation from Erdogan to visit Turkey. The Prime Minister hopes that the close friendship between the two leaders, which is currently blossoming, will continue to be strong and bring benefits to the people of both countries. Meanwhile, Zionist attacks on Gaza continued during Aidilfitri, killing at least 10 Palestinians. In Khan Yunis, Zionist forces attacked at least 7 homes of different families, while heavy artillery shelling continued in central Gaza Strip, particularly in Nuseirat. Meanwhile, Israel has issued new forced evacuation orders for Rafah as the military plans to expand its renewed assault on the enclave. Following this, Palestinians have been urged to immediately move to shelter in Al-Mawasi on the coast. The area, however, has regularly come under Israeli fire despite being designated as a safe zone. Local authorities and petty traders must play their respective roles with full trust and responsibility for the sake of harmony and mutual interests. Housing and Local Government Minister Nga Kor Ming said local authorities must carry out their duties with full trust and integrity, while traders must ensure they comply with the law by obtaining valid licenses or permits before trading. The minister said he understands that many petty traders are working hard to find extra income for this festive season. At the same time, local authorities must carry out their responsibilities so that business areas are safe and convenient for the public. Thus, he said cooperation and mutual understanding between both parties are the key to harmony. Nga said the ministry will continue to ensure all local authorities comply with the stipulated standard operating procedures in the enforcement process so that business activities can run smoothly, in addition to ensuring the people's well-being is protected. In Perak, a mother and her 2-year-old child lost their lives in a tragic Aidilfitri outing when their vehicle lost control and crashed into a drain near the Menorah Tunnel in Ipoh. The child was pronounced dead at the scene, while the mother, who was 8 months pregnant, succumbed to her injuries hours later in the hospital. It has been learned that the woman's husband, Abdul Rahman Rahim, is currently fighting for his life and is undergoing surgery. His brother, Abdul Razik Sulaim, shared that his late sister-in-law, Nur Fatiha Badrul Hisham, passed away at 9 a.m. on Monday. Doctors later confirmed that her unborn baby had not survived. The child was delivered stillborn at 10 p.m. last night. Abdul Rahman is undergoing reconstructive surgery on his right hand, which began at 5 p.m. on Monday and is expected to last several hours. The accident occurred at 6:30 p.m. on Sunday at kilometer 264.7 of the North-South Expressway heading southbound near the Menorah Tunnel. The car, driven by Abdul Rahman, is believed to have lost control before veering off the road and crashing into a drain. Over in Kuching, Sarawak, a Hari Raya Aidilfitri celebration turned into a terrifying ordeal for a family. This after the floor of their house suddenly collapsed on Monday morning. The mishap took place in Kampung Gobit, Muara Tebas, when the family were receiving well-wishers. And it was about 11:10 a.m., soon after the collapse, that the Fire and Rescue Department received a distress call. It then dispatched an emergency team from the Tabuan Jaya fire station. There were 4 people injured, 2 men and 2 young girls. The villagers took them to the hospital before the rescue team arrived. The affected family members were currently taking shelter at the village community hall. In Pahang, police have remanded a lorry driver for 4 days to assist in an investigation into the fatal crash involving 3 family members at kilometer 50.8 of the Kuala Lumpur-Karak Expressway on Sunday. Bentong Police Chief Zaiham Kahar said the 52-year-old man was remanded on Monday to assist in the investigation under the Road Transport Act 1987 for causing death by reckless or dangerous driving. The lorry driver was detained at the Bentong District Police Headquarters on Sunday. The driver, who has a record for 4 offences, however tested negative for drugs. 3 members of a family were killed and 4 others injured in the 4:55 p.m. accident involving the 5-ton lorry and 4 vehicles.
You'd start with all countries, so let's see what happens.
This and more when Nightline returns.
Dengar sini bro, jadi hero bukan setakat swing kiri, swing kanan.
Everybody good?
Do me a favor though.
Can't you just be a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man?
Pakai suit, lepas tu acakul. Aksi kena gempak, tapi fikir dulu sebelum bertindak. Jangan sampai terjebak.
Don't do anything stupid.
Spider-Man Homecoming, Raya ke-6 10 malam. Indahkan memori Syawal di TV3 Blockbuster dan stream juga melalui Tonton.
Tahun ni banyak tak dapat jemputan rumah terbuka? Pergilah, kan setahun sekali. Inilah masanya untuk indahkan memori. Salam Syawal daripada saya, Muaz Muhammad.
Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam. Masuklah ke pintu. Takkan kau tingkap pula?
Saya rasa awak cepat-cepatlah cari jodoh.
Awak tak sabar sangat nak tengok saya dengan perempuan lain.
Kita tak sesuai.
Nazim. Apa? Memori sebahagian daripada diri kita yang kekal abadi dalam relung jiwa.
Dan memori tersimpan rapi di sudut hati. Dalam bisu menjadi saksi segala.
Apa jua makna memori bagi anda?
Yang tersurat manis atau yang membias duka?
Semuanya terpahat di jiwa buat selama-lama.
Indahkan memori bersama MHI jam 10 pagi.
Stream secara langsung ditonton juga eksklusif
di TV3.
Pasport? Check. Suit Spider-Man? Tak kot. Kono nak healing, feeling dengan MJ. Sekali.
Put some clothes on. Go for a ride.
Nick Fury dan Roger? No escape, bro.
Fire all the drones now!
Spider-Man Far From Home, Raya ke-7 10 malam. Indahkan memori Syawal di TV3 Blockbuster dan stream juga melalui Tonton.
Welcome back. Muslims around the world celebrated Aidilfitri with immense enthusiasm, marking the end of the holy month of Ramadan. The festivities involved prayers, feasting, and spending time with family, friends, and the wider community. Muslims across Indonesia, the second largest Muslim country, held mass prayers for Aidilfitri on Monday morning. This year, an unusual sight unfolded on the south coast of Java Island as thousands of Muslims assembled on a sand dune in Bantul for the mass prayers, a departure from the customary mosque setting. Over in Pakistan, thousands across the country gathered at mosques and open spaces, including the railway ground in Karachi, where worshippers took part in mass congregational prayers to mark Eid-ul-Fitr. Elsewhere in the Middle East, Syrians celebrated their first Eid-ul-Fitr since the end of more than half a century of being ruled by the Al-Assad family. Many of them flocked to mosques in Damascus, Aleppo and Hasaka, feeling joyful and hopeful about rebuilding their country. In the United States, thousands of California Muslims gathered for the mass prayers in San Diego. The prayer service, which was organized by the Council on American Islamic Relations, was held at the San Diego Convention Center, with both men and women attending.
And genocide, whether in Gaza or
U.S. President Donald Trump said on Sunday that reciprocal tariffs he is set to announce this week will include all nations and not just a smaller group of 10 to 15 countries with the biggest trade imbalances.
It start with all countries, so let's see what happens. There are many countries. I haven't heard a rumor about 15 countries, 10 or 15.
So you're starting with all countries?
Essentially, all of the countries that we're talking about, we'll be talking about.
Speaking to the media, Trump, however, claimed that his administration would be far more generous and kinder than the countries had been to the U.S. His remarks come after his administration had played down the scope of the tariffs set to be unveiled on April 2nd, which the U.S. president has dubbed Liberation Day. The measures will come on top of tariffs already imposed by Washington on aluminium, steel and vehicles, along with increased levies on all goods from China. In Myanmar, 4 more people have been pulled from rubble nearly 60 hours after a powerful 7.7 magnitude earthquake struck the Southeast Asian country on Friday. Among those rescued from the rubble in Mandalay in the early hours of Monday were a pregnant woman and a girl. Survivors were also rescued from a collapsed school building in the Sagaing region, from which a body was also recovered. However, at least 270 people remained missing in Mandalay, where tremors damaged infrastructure such as mosques, bridges, and the city's airport. The search and rescue effort was reportedly being slowed by lack of resources and equipment and damaged infrastructure. To date, the country's military-led government said the death toll had risen to 2,056 people, with a further 3,900 injured. In the Thai capital of Bangkok, rescuers recovered another body from the rubble of a collapsed skyscraper, raising the death toll in the building collapse to 12, with 19 dead nationwide and 75 still missing at the site. Earlier, scanning machines and sniffer dogs were deployed at the site, and rescuers were urgently working out how to access an area where signs of life had been detected. Meanwhile, evacuations were ordered at several high-rise buildings in Bangkok after what happened to be aftershocks from the Myanmar earthquake. The evacuations took place at about 10 a.m. local time after individuals working inside several buildings alerted security officials about swaying motion. The meteorological department later confirmed that the minor aftershock in Myanmar on Monday morning had no impact on Thailand. A French court on Monday sentenced far-right leader Marine Le Pen to a 5-year ban on running for office with immediate effect, throwing into doubt her bid to stand for president in 2027. The Paris court ruled that Le Pen used more than $3.3 million of European Parliament funds to pay members of her national rally, RN Party. The court also gave her a 4-year prison term, but will not go to jail, with 2 years of the term suspended and the remaining 2 to be served outside jail with an electronic bracelet. Le Pen was also ordered to pay a fine of $108,000, while her RN Party was issued with a $2.16 million fine. She is expected to appeal the ruling, setting the stage for a potentially lengthy legal battle. A sour taste for the Serbian. Sports after this breather.
Kotor dan jijik, premis sembelih ayam langgar syarat. Dia punya dokumen pemborong, untuk borong ayam kena ada lesen borong. Pekerja asing ambil alih tugas penyembelih bertauliah.
Patutnya kena tahu kat sini lah. Tengok pas kat apa, pukul 1 semalam. Tapi ayam dah sebelah.
Saksikan 999 Selasa jam 9 malam di TV3 dan stream sekarang melalui Tonton.
Terima kasih. Hah? Ni je? Dah 2025 tau. Tak apalah. Raya ni tak kisahlah anda dapat duit raya banyak ke sikit ke. Yang penting tu semua kenangan indah bersama yang tersayang. Indahkan memori, bukan wang ringgit. Sama Hari Raya.
Raya ni, kami budak Gen Z. Raya-raya bergaya. Tak macam Gen Alpha. Game je.
Oh, good boy.
Dracula pun swat-swat. Kau bila nak sah?
Don't be late.
Tapi raya tak sah kalau tak ada senario. Oh, tak gitu Lazli.
Sila. Jalinkan kasih sesama.
Amboi, syaitan pun tak nak kalah
Minik.
Raya ni semua nak join the hype. Indahkan memori Syawal di Magnificent 8 TV3 dan stream juga melalui Tonton.
Pasport? Check. Suit Spiderman? Tak kot. Kono nak healing, feeling dengan MJ. Sekali.
Put some clothes on. Go for a ride.
Nick Fury dan Roger? No escape, bro.
Fire all the drones now!
Spider-Man Far From Home, Raya ke-7 10 malam. Indahkan memori Syawal di TV3 Blockbuster dan stream juga melalui Tonton.
Sports now, tennis, the 2025 Miami Open. 19-year-old Czech Jakub Mensik beat his childhood idol Novak Djokovic in a thrilling straight set on Sunday to claim his first ATP title, denying the Serbian's bid for a milestone 100th. The 54th-ranked Mensik faced tough odds in only his second ATP final, but harnessed his best weapon to subdue the 24 times major winner with a superb 7-6, 7-6 victory. The Czechia fired 14 aces in the match before wrapping up the win with an unreturnable serve after more than 2 hours on court. With the victory, Mensik became the 9th youngest Masters 1000 champion and the 2nd youngest in Miami after Carlos Alcaraz, while the defeat leaves Djokovic, who appeared to struggle with an issue underneath his right eye, without a title on tour since the ATP Finals in 2023. On to motorsports now. MotoGP, the 2025 American Grand Prix. Ducati's Francesco Bagnaia won a chaotic race ahead of Gresini Racing's Alex Marquez on Sunday after leader Marc Marquez crashed halfway through the race to lose for the first time this season. Marquez had clinched pole position in qualifying, but after a first crash on the red Ducati, the 6-times champion opted to retire due to extensive damage on his bike. Although Bagnaia took the checkered flag to move up to 75 points, Alex Marquez will leave Austin with the bigger smile, as finishing second moved him to the top of the championship on 87 points, 1 point ahead of his elder brother Marc. Fabio Di Giannantonio of VR46 Racing tried to catch up to Alex, but ran out of laps as he finished third, giving Ducati another clean sweep of the podium. Moving on to football, the Argentine Primera Division. Newell's Old Boys secured a 2-0 home win over Boca Juniors on Sunday, with goalkeeper Keylor Navas stopping a penalty from former Paris Saint-Germain teammate Edinson Cavani. Luciano Herrera opened the scoring after 5 minutes, latching onto Carlos Gonzalez's precise header before the hosts doubled their lead on the stroke of half-time when Luciano Loyo headed home over Banega's cross. Fernando Gago's side struggled to find their stride, and their hopes were dashed in the 54th minute when Navas made a dramatic save from captain Cavani's spot kick before keeping out Rodrigo Battaglia's rebound. With the result, Newell's moved up to 11th place in Group A with 11 points, while Boca dropped to second with 23 points. And that concludes Nightline this time around. I, Natasha, on behalf of the Nightline team, would like to wish all our Muslim viewers Selamat Hari Raya Aidilfitri, Maaf Zahir Batin. Take care.